Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome back. Today, I come to you with a very special reading. Um, this is where Sam and I will be talking about our love story. So, many of you know that Sam and I are both Virgos. Sam has a Virgo sun and a Virgo moon. He's very deep. I have a Virgo sun and a Gemini moon. But we're going to get right to your questions. And let me just give you just a real quick backstory. So we met when we were what, 15, 16?
15.
15. And then we dated for about a year and then we broke up.
Brilliant.
And we'll get into the story why. And then I went my way, he went his way. And then I'm assuming it was like 40 years later. I was living in Rhode Island. He was still in our hometown of Pennsylvania. And yeah, my phone rang and it was Sam. And he started the conversation by singing a little bit of our song back in the day, Night Moves by Bob Seger. And it was a great day. It was a great day. It was a great moment. And from that moment on, we talked every single day, hours and night for hours and hours for 5 years until I finally, what's the word, had the guts to actually move in with them. So now we're together in union. We're not married, but we're devoted to each other. What were you going to say?
Getting there.
Getting there. Getting there. So what I'm going to do is, Sam, you can just say hi.
Hey guys.
Some of you don't, some people are like, does Sam really exist?
Yeah, I really exist.
He really exists. So I'm going to take some of the questions now, and I'm going to start with, I think it's Jayton, and this is for Sam. Oh, my phone just went blank. So, after all these years, what made you decide to reach out to Sandy during your long separation? Did you think about Sandy often? Did you ever receive any signs or synchronicities? And that's from Jalen. For you.
For Jalen?
Yeah, for you.
For Jalen, there's many years that went past. And yeah, I thought of Sandy a lot through my endeavors through life. Some of my disappointments I had through life. One time I was separated from my first wife. She actually called me, but she was afraid when I answered the phone to talk to me. And I called a number back.
Oh, you're talking about when I called you.
Yeah, I was actually separated and I was free.
Well,
Then I called a number back and she actually ripped her mother and father's phone line out of the wall so she didn't have to talk to me.
Yeah.
So if she would have talked to me then, we could have been back together back then.
Oh, putting the blame on me.
And then things happened and
so you did think about me.
Yeah, quite often.
And the story that he's telling you, by the way, I was living in a town, that's where I was with that abusive guy for 5 years. And I finally got away and I moved back to my hometown. I actually moved in with my mom. I was a grown adult then, but my kids and I moved back in with my mom. And like I've said it in the readings, I was always looking for that hero, but no hero came. And honestly, in my mind, I thought of Sam. So when I moved back, I called Sam's number. I think it was in the phone book. That's how long ago it was. So it was in the phone book. I called him and he answered, and I recognized his voice right away, and I hung up. It just freaked me out, so I hung up. And then I remembered that was right when they started what they call
Caller ID.
Caller ID. where you could call someone back. And I ripped my mother's phone cord out of the wall because I didn't want him to know it was me. I don't know why. I wish I would have just let it happen because chances are we would have stayed together.
It was even before caller ID because I hit *69
Yeah, that's right.
and I called the number back because they told the number it was calling was that number. I called it right back.
Yeah.
It was even before caller ID came out. It was in the phone book and I looked up. It says *69. *69, and when I hit *69, it gave me her mother and father's telephone number, and I knew exactly who it was that I was calling because kept in touch with her father over the years, even when we was not even dating. I used to stop in the Colonial
After we dated.
after we dated,
Yeah.
and we went through our trials and tribulations as adults. I always stopped in seeing her father all the time and asked her how she was doing. Just reminisced about times it was gone, times coming, and
Yeah, and
stuff like
I didn't
that.
know any of that. I didn't.
She knew none of it, but I knew what was going on in her life, and especially after that phone call she called.
Well, you didn't know I was with that guy because my
Your
dad didn't even know.
your dad knew. Your dad knew
Well, then why
more.
didn't he rescue me?
He wanted you to live through it.
No. He
He
wanted
didn't.
me to be
He
abused.
asked me, "What the hell should I do with my daughter?" He asked me that right at Colonial.
Well, that's weird. So I'm finding out some stuff I didn't know. All right, let's keep moving. So Bird of Passage. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Sam. Hi.
Hello.
I'm so excited to hear this podcast from you both. Looking forward to it very much. Thank you. You identify as a twin flame with your counterpart, and you experience what you can only describe as sharing a brain, answering questions just before the other one was about to ask, sharing the same thought at the same time, and your favorite, even seeing through each other's eyes within the mind's eye or within dreams. Have you experienced any of these telepathic phenomena? And what are some other twin flame symptoms that are special to your connection? Thank you for sharing. Um, so let me just kind of read that real quick again. When I met Sam, it actually he worked at a restaurant. This when we were teenagers. He worked at a restaurant that my brother worked at, and it was myself and a couple of my friends came in, to grab something to eat, and my brother brought Sam over to um, to introduce us to all of us. But I remember just looking at him thinking, oh my God, I'm just in love. Now, I don't know that I was in love at that point, but um, there was immediate attraction on my side. Anyways, I don't know about your side.
Same here, because we started a date right after that. I
Yeah.
was sitting in the first booth with your brother. I was sitting in the same booth with your brother, and when he looked over the door, he said, "Here comes my sister and some of her friends." And you walked over to the booth actually.
Yeah.
And when he introduced you, I locked eyes with you.
Yeah, we did lock
And,
eyes.
and Mike even said, "Well, after you left," he said, "Well, that's a done deal."
Oh, really?
He said, "I could tell that as soon as you looked at her and she looked at you, that's all done deal there."
Well, I didn't know that.
Even Brian knew about it.
Oh. So, yeah.
Because Brian ended up dating my sister Dorothy for 7 years.
Yeah. So, but that was like fleeting. And then we saw each other. The next time we saw each other was at a party. That we went, I went with my friends, he was with his friends. And
To clarify, my friends were always friends a generation earlier or 2 years earlier than me. I ran around with my older brother's friends, and I only had a couple of friends in my generation that I could really trust. and a couple friends that I had was like a year younger than me. I really never ran around with people that was in my own grade.
I think that's your Virgo moon.
I always ran around with my dad's friends. They was a lot older than me. My dad was born in 1925, and I chummed around with him and his buddies all the time and learned a lot from them as I
Yeah.
grew up.
So yeah, so we were at the party and that's the first time he asked me out. And I don't know if I want to say what happened next.
What happened
Well,
next?
let's just say that we had a good night and we went over to
You saying I
my
made an
house.
impression?
What?
You saying I had an impression?
No, I'm just saying what happened next.
What? You
I mean, you know.
maybe jump out the
Well,
upstairs window
I
when your
was
mom
just
and dad
about to
was
say
coming
that.
through the door.
So I invite him over to my house and we're up in my bedroom and there's no one home. And my mother came home and I said, "You gotta go." And he's like, "How am I gonna get out of here?" I'm like, "You gotta jump out the window." Well, I was on the second floor.
The second story floor, I had to jump out of the window.
And you did.
And I did.
And you survived. And he survived. Um, but yeah, the chemistry I feel like was there immediately. Um, you okay with the phone ringing in the background? I'm gonna pause 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, so we're back. I was just trying to remember where we left off, and it was Sam jumping out my window. But she was talking about like, if we had any telepathic connections.
Yeah, I do.
We can read each other's
I
minds.
I can say what she's gonna say or do even a day in advance.
Oh.
I just know her personality and just the way she thinks sometimes, and I always try to stay ahead of the ball instead of behind it. Even though she tries to put me behind the ball,
I
I'm
don't know
always
what
trying
that
to get in
means.
front of it. But
All right, let's go to K. K8991. What was it like for each of you when you met? Did it stir feelings slash energy immediately? When you were in separation, did you have longing vibes of each other? And did you see each other intuitively while separated? So when we first met, oh dang it, I just lost the questions. Um, well, go ahead, Sam. You talk first. I gotta find the questions.
what was the question? Of course, I've thought about her. Like I was saying to the first question, I thought about her a lot of the times. And actually, my second marriage, she was working again at Colonial, and I drove in.
Not his second
Not,
one. Me. I was working,
yeah,
and that's our dealership. They're not from here.
yeah, that's a car dealership where she was working, and I just bought a Toyota truck, and I was married the second time. And just to get her attention, I looked at her and said, "Do you have contacts in?" Because I know that I'm colorblind, but I know how to tell colors because all these years I know how to differentiate between the colors. Just to get her, strike her attention, and it did because kind of it didn't hurt her, but it shocked her. I didn't know she didn't realize I really knew the color of her eyes, and I knew she wanted to talk to me, but I was committed in a marriage, and it was shortly after that. If she would just follow through again, second wife left me. If she would just followed through with her intuition that time and moment,
Me?
yeah, you. If she would have followed through with her time, with her intuition at that time and moment, we would have been back together back then.
Yeah.
but she didn't. She stopped and paused again. So
Well,
now I'm never a chaser. I'm
I
always,
blame that on my mother because that's why we broke up. As a matter of fact, Sam dropped me off one night and he said he loved me, which many of you know the story, but he said he loved me, and even though I did love him dearly, I couldn't say it back,
and
and
I
that's because
felt,
my mother just never said we just didn't hear those words, so it just felt so foreign to say it, even though I felt it. And he broke up with me.
I didn't really break up
You
with
broke
her.
up with me.
I felt rejected at the time.
I understand that now.
I felt rejected at the time, and it was like, okay,
So we had opportunities. It's
we had
just
opportunities, but it was just,
it probably wasn't the right timing.
it was the right timing, just in the wrong frame, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It was because it was just a couple months in between that separated the perfect match in time.
Yeah.
But if we would have struck on the first strike of the clock, we would have been back together in the 80s.
We'd probably have 20 children and we would have had a good life, but we have a good life now. Um, so during separations, did we have any longing vibes? I know I did here and there.
Yeah, I
You know,
did.
you were my during hard times in my life when you put your head in the pillow. My mind would go to you sometimes, like, oh, I wonder what it would have been like if Sam and I stayed together, because you were my first love,
Well, same
my
here.
first true love.
Same here. The minister I used to watch every night. After we started talking, I used to call you and let you listen to the minister.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me how to pray, and I prayed for her every night
Hmm.
until one night I was sitting and her brother just called me out of the blue at like 12:30 in the morning. And I was just sitting there and I said, what are you doing? Because it's never come up on caller ID. I still have it on caller ID. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm out here at a certain place where he's fishing. And I asked him, the first question I asked him right after that was, how's Sandy doing? How's your sister doing? And I have a feeling in my heart, I don't know if she'll admit it. I don't know if she told Mike to call me.
Mm-mm. I promise you I did not.
He didn't.
Nope.
Well, he called me out of the blue and I hadn't heard from him in 40 plus years.
No.
I mean, I haven't heard it from him for
Anything,
I don't know how long.
no,
And,
he when you talked to
and I
him,
asked him for your number. He gave me your number, but he gave me the wrong number.
and that's when he called me. And he said,
Then I
Sam,
called him back.
yeah.
And then he gave me the right number because he called you to make sure it was all right to give you the number. He wanted to give me an email address.
I said that. I'm like, give him my email because I'm scared.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. But I wanted you to call. Okay, let's keep going. Curious Oracle. Hi, Sandy. Question for Sam.
Uh-oh.
Sam, are you spiritual?
Very spiritual.
Okay. Do you have psychic abilities? I think you do. I think you just.
I know I do.
If you worked on it, I feel like you could bring them out.
I've been told by some people that
Or psychic.
Well, they're here and gone now. They were best friends with my mother and father, one of them. And right before she passed away, she called me and asked me to bring my mother and father down to see her. My dad didn't really want to go because he had something going on. So I went down to see her by myself. And she looked at me and she said, if I was 60 years younger, you would never have to worry about a faithful woman being in your life because I would be there for you. But I'll promise you this, I'll see you on the other side. If you stick with what you know and practice what you feel, you'll be stronger than me. And she was a very, very, very good card reader.
What was she? Well, she's not as good as I am, but but you don't know that.
When she was not even a teenager, she used to solve missing persons and homicides for the police, even before she was 9 or 10 years old.
So
And I seen a
she
lady.
plans on meeting you in the afterworld.
She said, "I will watch after you till you're in the afterworld with me."
She better not be with you.
But anyhow, then I met another lady after she'd gone and passed, and she had a special needs sister that was sitting on the couch. And when I went up to see her, I got to actually credit that lady for saving my mother's life because my mother went in for triple bypass surgery. And after I was seeing her for a while, she said, "Your mother's not doing well. I'm going to go into meditation to help your mother through this." And my mother came through it, but she fell asleep and passed away that night.
Mm.
But anyhow, she told me I didn't have to come see her. Just I looked at her and I looked at her special needs sister sitting on the couch and she was just shaking her head. And I said, "There's no way, no way." She goes, "Oh, yes, there is." And she wrote me down certain directions and stuff to follow and reading a regular plain deck of cards. And I did it. And I said, "There's no way this is going to happen." It wasn't even 2 days later. It happened. And I was like, after that, it was just coming, going.
So
And I always look through prayer before I do anything.
yeah, and I'm trying to talk Sam into let me teach him tarot, which I have a feeling he'd pick up very quickly because I do know he has he's spiritually inclined, so I think he'd pick it up very quickly. But let's move to the next one. And did you both hold each other within your hearts despite being apart and being in separate relationships? What signs and synchronicities kept reminding you of each other? Thank you. From Ireland, my homeland, Ireland. Um, did you both hold each other within your hearts? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there's no doubt about that.
And even being in relationships, the truth is, I don't feel that I've ever truly loved. Like, I don't feel like there's anyone I truly gave all of my heart to, except for Sam. And it's not because of someone else, it's me. You know what I mean? I just feel like I've never fully loved. Um, though I've been in love, but I think you guys know what I mean. Um, but yeah, many times I just thought, like, what if, what if? And synchronicities, any synchronicities that kept reminding you of each other. My brother had a big part in,
So did your dad, because I called your dad all the time.
yeah, but I mean, but Mike introduced us, and then Mike Ree got us back together again, unbeknownst to him.
Yeah,
Or was it? Who knows?
he was at the Ellen's Bridge fishing at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah. But yeah, um, so even I would say yes, even when I was in a relationship, certainly Sam crossed my mind. Um, I don't want to say often because I was busy working just as he was and, living your life and raising your kids.
Yeah,
But when I laid my head on the pillow, I did think about him here and there for sure. Did you think about me, baby?
yeah, I did. I mean, this is just like I was repeating. It was always a missed opportunity if she would have struck on the first strike of the clock.
Don't put it on me.
Because I was always, when I told her I loved her that first night, I felt rejected. And I wanted her to come after me instead of me being
I'm sorry.
the chaser. I wanted her to realize it was standing right before her very eyes.
Well, that night I went into my bedroom and I cried like I never cried before. That was the only time, which is strange, that my mother came into the room and actually hugged me, and it felt strange, like being in her arms. But that's how sad I was. Um, but we didn't get back together. Okay, so let's keep going. Um, well, she did ask. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is Linda. Did you hear each other and could communicate telepathically when you met? Were there audible voices or great energy of light? Any special thing happen that was out of the norm? Thank you so much. I just found you last night. Oh, well, welcome to our soul family. Great, great show. Thank you. Well, thank you. So, when did we hear each other and could we commute telepathically? Now, definitely.
Well, she can tell you this. She knows what I used to tell her at night when I talked to her. I'm gonna tug on you a little bit tonight. And she never really understood that fully. It just for until after she moved here to be with me. Because she asked me, what did I really mean by you gonna tug on me tonight?
And this is when I still lived in Rhode Island.
Yeah, and we was 500 miles away. So yes, that's a definite thing because the chase was over. I mean, time was coming near. And it was like, I'm gonna tug on you tonight. She really didn't know what I was talking about. But
Yeah.
I usually do it through prayer.
Okay. One love. Looking forward to the podcast with both of you. Thank you. I would like to know how you both worked through the fear to open up and be your authentic selves. Would you share words of wisdom to those who fear vulnerability? Well, I'll start because I'll say that it took me a while to work when we reconnected.
She's still not fully there yet.
No, I'm there. It was just a hard decision I had to make. That's all.
Yeah, she gave a lot up.
I had to leave my daughter and my grandkids um, for love. What was I going to say? I would like to know how you both worked through the fear. Oh, so the fear literally took me 5 years. Sam had asked me probably within the first couple months of us talking, like quietly, I'd hear him say, "When you moving in? When you moving in?" Like quietly, and you'd end the phone call that way. When you moving in? Click.
Give her something to think about.
Yeah, and I wanted to, but the fears I had were so silly. I didn't want to wear makeup every day. I didn't want to do my hair every day. I'm not a girly girl. I mean, I like to look good, don't get me wrong. But that's what went through my mind, like, oh my God, that means I'm gonna have to put makeup on every day or do my hair every day or, look pretty every day. And it just felt like I was beyond all that. So that's what took me so long. Silly, silly things. And then one day I woke up and I was like, you want to be with Sam. Book that airline. Book that. Get that ticket right now. So I woke up, got up, went to the computer, and booked my flight. And the rest is history.
Yeah, you had no trouble getting here. I had
No,
no
matter
trouble
of
getting
fact.
there to pick you up at the airport. You're standing right there.
Yeah, you want to talk about divine, like everything that's happened in our lives seems divinely timed because when I got on my flight, they put me in first class. Well, I've never in my life been in first class, which really isn't that great anyway. But anyway, um, and then I had to do a connecting flight. Now this is right when COVID was. This was March of 2020.
So March of 2019.
No, I moved here 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right before COVID started.
So I was so afraid that I was going to get COVID, and I wasn't worried about me, but Sam's got heart conditions. I was so afraid I was going to bring him to him. So when I get on the plane and they ask me, like, do you want The seat in first class is empty. I'm like, yeah. So I take that seat, I get off that flight, and I have to get on my connecting flight. So when I come out the gate, there is my connecting flight right there. So I didn't have to talk to anyone. I got off one plane, got on the other. When I went down to baggage, took it outside, boom, there was Sam. It's like I didn't have to come in contact with hardly anyone. So, and the second flight, I also got first class. Now, someone was watching over us for sure. Um, so those were my fears. I don't know. You have any fears?
Not
You
really.
fearless man?
No, didn't have any fears.
All right. So from Broken Be Bliss. Broken Be Bliss. I love seeing you here. What was the fear that made the breakup or distance happen years ago? Literally, when he said he loved me and I couldn't say it back. Um, it's amazing. You think back to your younger self. Like today, I'd say, like, I grew up, or because my mother was like not emotional when I had my kids, like, that's all I ever said. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I tell Sam that I love you. I love you. Like, I make sure people know. But that's really what broke us up. It was me not saying I love you, and then
It didn't break us up, it just divided us a little bit. That's
no,
all.
it broke us up because I didn't see you after then. Which is
We,
weird because we hung out with the same people, but like we never crossed paths since, I mean, we did here and there, but like at that point when we were teenagers, we never crossed paths again. But we hung out with the same people, which is weird. Okay. I think this is Milton. Milton. I believe you can't rush readiness. So true. Sometimes I reflect back over the men in my life and think it's probably a good thing we never got involved. Or for others, it's a good thing we didn't remain together. Mainly because I don't believe we could have loved each other in the ways we needed, given who we were at the time. Do you think it would have worked out if you two stayed together when you were kids, or do you think the time, space, and maturing was necessary in order for you to come into union? Hmm. I don't. I personally don't. I think that if we would have stayed together, I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? We were young, but like I only had eyes for him. That once we connected, that was it. Um, I personally think that we would have had a good life.
yeah, I
I
think
think
so
we would have
too.
had a lot of children,
I don't know
a
about having
full
a whole lot
house.
of
Well,
children,
I
but
just feel like we would have had a full house. I
we
just
have,
mean our attraction for each other
yeah.
would probably turn into children. um, but yeah, that was for me. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it would have worked out?
Yeah, because once I'm devoted, I'm devoted. My eyes don't wander, and my body doesn't ponder either. So
Yeah,
once I'm devoted,
thank
I'm
God.
devoted.
Okay, so this one I have to read to you. This is Christina, who just makes me laugh so much. Sandy, oh my God, does this mean I'm about to hear Sam's voice? Oh God, I am not prepared. I am not, Sandy. Okay, just give me a heads up when it's about to happen. Oh my God. It is like finally hearing the voice of an actual fairy, or like, I don't know, like seeing a reindeer. I still don't totally believe they exist, or do they?
Reindeer do.
They do. They do exist.
They're caribou.
Oh, they sure can fly. I just know that. I do. When Sandy, when, oh, I think she means when are we doing this? I am not ready. I wasn't ready for this post, let alone for the voice. Is he real? now all of a sudden I feel like I always took for granted that he is real. And now I am thinking of Santa Claus. I know he is real, but is he? Like for real, real? Is Sam real? Does he know that he is Da Sam? DA, as in universal and intergalactical. Did I say that right?
No.
Say, what's the word I'm trying to say? Intergalactical. Why can't I say that? Well, you know what I mean. Okay, now let's all.
Universal, just put it that way.
Okay, now let's all take a breath. Okay, I am cool. It's cool. All is well. So the question, how is it to be Sam? As in, does Sam? No, I'm not kidding. So I have two questions. First of all, how are you? Would it be okay for him to elaborate on God put you in my heart, the answer to the question you asked him? Christine's the one who asked me to ask you, like, what made you reach out after all those years? And you said that was, God put me in your heart. Um, you described it as you were filming. I sent you both so much love. This is an amazing gift. I still can't believe he will talk over here. He has a voice because he speaks, because he exists. And I can't believe how much I took that for granted. And now I'm freaking out. It actually feels like I'm about to hear what Santa Claus's voice sounds like. And you're on. Santa Claus. I know. What is the question? What's it like to be you? And I think she's relating to with what I do, like what I do for a living. I think that's what she means.
I don't know how to approach that question because this is her. This she's devoted to this. I mean, she's devoted to you guys. She wants to show you guys the light instead of the darkness. Somebody wants to show you the light side. Always follow it. I mean, you can't run. You can't hide in the dark because whatever you do in the dark shall and all will come into the light. So you can't hide from what you did, what mistakes you made in the dark, because it's always going to come back into the light. She shows you the light. She shows you the way. Follow it. I mean, you got to follow your heart. Put your heart and mind together. Don't follow just one because your heart will get it broken. Your mind will get you in trouble.
Hmm.
So you got to make sure they're 101 equal 2. So, and yes, I do exist. So I'm here.
um, okay, and then just real quick, there's a couple more up here. Oh, I should say, Vicky asked, did we always think about each other during parts away, during our times away?
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I guess we kind of answered that. Um, all right, so I want to see if anybody else has. Um, sorry, I'm just reading someone's comment. All right, my heart just skipped a beat whether I make the live or not. Years ago, my lesson, he said to me, it starts with our parents. It begins and ends with our parents. This is your full circle moment, as it is for many of us, closing out and beginning anew. Hmm,
I know about following parents because my parents never said I love you and all that.
did or didn't?
They did not say that. Actually, the first time I actually heard my mother say I love you to my father was after he passed away. And she didn't know what to do because she didn't know if he was saved or not. And she was a Christian woman. And I picked out the old, his name was Bob. I'll give you his first name, but not his last. He was the old clerk at the mine that we used to work at. And actually, he saved my father. He led him to salvation because my dad opened that mine. He became a lamp man. He worked outside while I worked inside. I knew it, but my mother didn't know it. And as he was giving the eulogy and he was closing the curtains behind him, saying the last words, and he looks directly at my mother and told my mother in a roundabout way he loved his family. Somebody more than he loved God.
God.
God. And kind of emotional for me here, guys. With
He
my
does. He gets very emotional.
I was so tired about God, my mother and father. Um, but anyhow, she reached over and grabbed my hand. I looked at Bob. He just nodded. I let her his coffin where he was laid out. Sorry, guys. Anyhow,
No, they want you to be your authentic self.
anyhow, me and my mother could talk without saying a word to each other. It was that was just us. She was very, very telepathic. Very, very, very much so was my grandmother.
Psychic.
And we could speak to each other without even saying a word because a lady or an old friend of hers used to come to the house to talk about the Bible and all that. And I had walked in one day and I just run over and grabbed a piece of her homemade bread, started to eat, drink a cup of coffee and all that. And I was just looking at her, looking at her. And, you know, and the lady actually got up and said, I got to leave. And my mother asked, why do you have to leave? She said, because she said, I'm interrupting you guys' conversation. You guys are not even saying a word. But that's just a little bit of background of the story. But anyhow, when I walked up to grabbed my mother's hand, I said, come on, Mom. Walked up to my father's casket. Said, Mom, it's time to tell him. She just looked at me and I said, Mom, you'll see him again. It's time to tell him now. And she reached down and kissed him on the lips. She said, Angela, I always loved you and I always still love you and I'll see you on the other side. So
And they're together now.
they're together now. And I carried my mother's. I tried my best after my mother passed away to save her life.
And didn't your mom say something about that you weren't going to find the love of your life until after 50?
No, that was my brother Dave. He said he was going to pass away before he was 50 when he married his wife. That
Oh, you told me someone told you that you wouldn't find true love until.
Now, my brother Dave, he had a premonition about
Okay.
himself.
I don't know where I got that.
Before he got married to his wife, he said, "You'll marry another man because I'll never, ever reach the age of 50." And we just thought that back at that time, it was thought, he was in the Air Force then, and he was just having premonitions, what being, home homesick and all that. But when they got married, they came back and they had a wedding reception here. My mother asked me, said, did you really say that to her? He said, yeah, because I'm not going to make it to 50. Well, here come 1998. My dad had a heart attack. I was a respiratory therapist. Got him through that. It wasn't even 2 weeks later. I was sitting in the office at the respiratory therapist's office, and my director's sister came in and said, you need to take your sister-in-law down to Connemall Hospital in Johnstown. I said, for what? He said, your brother Dave had a heart attack. I looked at her. I said, no, that was Dad 2 weeks ago. He's fine. And she spun my chair around and said, your mother, your mother and your sister-in-law and your sister's waiting for you. They don't know how to get to Connemall. Your brother Dave had a heart attack. So now me, the way I was dedicated, I went out and seen all my patients first. And I came back. Then I rushed home and took him down to Connemall. And that was the fall of
Hospital.
before he turned 47. And during the winter months, he was recuperating, and he walked to my house from his house. It was about 3 miles from here down the railroad tracks. And he said, I asked him if he needed to talk to me in private. So we was talking in private. He apologized about some things he did in his past to me. And I said, hey, time is gone. Don't worry about it, brother. And we always thought that was the premonition he had. Then 1998, my dad passed away in May of 1998. It wasn't 2.5 months later when my brother turned 48 in February 26th. That summer, my dad passed away that spring, and my brother was killed in a motorcycle accident on the exact day his best friend was killed 4 years apart.
Well,
And he was 48 years old.
yeah.
So then I had to go tell my mother because a good friend that he used to run around with came banging on my door, and I was on my basement door, and I was sitting with my next door neighbor, which was a good friend of my mom and dad's. He said, I wonder why the fire whistles are going off. I said, that was too early. It must have been an accident or something. And we heard banging on my door, and I ran down. Here he was right behind the accident. He said, I seen your brother. He said he didn't make it. He said, you got to go tell your mother. And I had to go tell my mother that her son, after burying her long life, love of her life, now she has to bury her son.
Mm.
And I had to tell her,
I know what that's
and I'll
like.
tell you what, she beat me, she slapped me, she kicked me, then she hugged me. But I did everything I could possibly do. I called the hospital. I knew the director of the emergency room. He jumped right on the room. He jumped right on the phone. He said, Sam, I don't know what to do. He said, we're sitting in the corner. I said, you can't sit in the corner. You can't. But it was too late. It was gone. It was gone. So then I
Yeah.
had to carry my mother and all her dreams that she had. And I carried her, and that took the place of my father and my brother. So
Yeah, and something I've noticed is with Sam and I, even though we were apart, like when he was going, like he had a heart attack, um,
did have a
and
heart,
was alone, and
went into
he
heart
had
failure.
same time he had a heart attack. What my mother, um, well, I got a phone call that I had to come home because my mother didn't have long to live, which was very surprising. But what's crazy is like there's a lot of synchronicities of like when bad things happen in his life, certain time period also happened in my life. And they weren't always like what was bad, like he had something bad, I had something bad. Sometimes, like he could have had a death and I may have there may have been a birth in my family, not for me, but so, there's definitely synchronicities there too. Um, And, speaking of those who crossed over, like I think of my son and, who gave me more power to make this move. It was definitely my son. Um, because I kept thinking to myself, how do I leave my only child now, which was my daughter, which is my daughter Jennifer, um, for love. It didn't feel right. But then I just got this feeling and I knew it was my son, like, go be happy, Mom.
He
Go
told you to
live,
go be
Mom.
happy. He told you that was in those words. He said, I want you to be happy, Mom. Go be happy.
Yeah. But so I think he had a lot to do with us coming together too. I definitely feel like it was divinely timed and divinely guided. Um, I don't regret that we didn't get together because that's senseless to have regret. But I do feel like, we would have had a good life, but we have a good life now. Like we're lucky.
We had a better life if we would have stuck it out. But
Yeah, but I
I
mean, we're
mean, the
lucky.
trials and tribulations you learn in your lessons, so you got to apply them to now and here and now. You can never I mean, you could forget, you could forgive, but once a word is said into you out of emotion or bad feelings or a fight, it's meant that that word is meant and it's sharpened and it's honed. It's meant to cut and it cuts, but your brain doesn't remember the pain. You forget the pain, you forget the thing, but every time you look down, you still see that damn scar and you know where it came from. So if you don't live and learn by your lessons you learned you got scraped from, you don't apply them to your life that you're living now, that's not on me. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, I
I say
mean,
my prayers every night. You could even ask her. I can't even say grace without crying.
it's true.
I get so emotional. And I've been that way all my life. I always had to go to church before I played little league baseball. I played little league baseball. I became a champion in that. I was in a football team when I was in grade school. My parents never went to see me come see me play a game because they was too busy. My dad was a chief of police here. He's a state constable. He had a business, Creekside Water Board. He owned the water business here in Creekside. Plus, he worked in the mines. My mother was raising 7 children. So
Yeah, he comes from
I
a big
wa-
Italian family.
I got to see my brothers and sisters grow up. They watched me grow up, but I watched them grow up, and I'd seen them make mistakes, and I don't want to repeat that.
Yeah.
And that's what drew me close and close to my mom and my dad. I can remember the day my second brother when he went into the military. I sat on the stair steps. It was 1968. I sat there and watched him get dressed. And I cried my eyes out. And it wasn't 4 or 5 months later. She was in a car accident, almost took her life, and I got burnt from my chest clear down to my knees and one of my arms by a 40 cup coffee urn. It fell right on my chest and
Oh, you're talking
on
about when
my
we were
on my
young.
lap and legs. You talk about synchronicities in life.
Yeah, I got in
I
a
was in
car
third. I
accident.
was in third grade, and she was in a car accident. Nearly took her life, and I could have died from that.
Yeah.
So it's not always good things that happen to you. There's bad things that connect
Well, that's
too.
what I mean. Like, and they seem to sync up. You know what I mean? Like, they seem to sync up. All right. Well, let's finish this by, and I feel like, like this doesn't have to be our only podcast. I'm rather enjoying it.
I don't know if you guys like me or not. But
Of course, they're gonna love you.
I don't know. I'm not that type of guy. I always do my work in the shadows. It's better to be
Sam is a
heard and
man's
not
man.
seen. I mean, I'm not. I'm better heard, not seen. I do my best work from in the shadows, and that's you know.
Well, let's finish it by this. So, um, just not to put you on the spot, because I'm putting myself on the spot, but let's say the two things that we like best about each other and two things that maybe we don't.
Maybe we don't.
Like,
One thing I can say I don't like about her
my
is
name is Sandy.
her sister warned me about because I stopped over to see her one day and she was still sleeping in the morning, and her sister looked at me and she said, "I am haunted by coffee cups and spoons."
Oh my God.
And every morning I get up, there's coffee cups and spoons in the sink, and I gotta wash them.
Aw.
And then she hollered at me, what my coffee
I
cup
don't
and
holler.
And I said, "Look, the water's already hot. You don't have to run it for another 10 minutes to get it hot. Just wash it out now. Put it there. I don't have to do it in the morning. You don't have to do it in the morning." Well, I left it go last night. I got up this morning. What did I wake up to? A dirty coffee cup and a spoon in the sink. But that's part of life. You do that out of
Yeah,
love.
that's
You
that's
do that out
tiny.
of love. Another thing, I wish she would come to bed with me. She said I'm getting old. but I'm going through some problems right now. And yes, we used to sit and talk all night long. But I'm going through some problems now.
Medical.
She'll sit and watch HDTV. It doesn't matter if it played
Hello,
30
my
years ago.
girl.
It doesn't matter if she's seen it 30 times. I can tell you what they're going to say and do. Even at the beginning of the show, we've seen it so many times. She always forgets that she has to watch them.
I don't forget.
But that's her relaxation after doing all this hard work for you guys. And I understand that. I understand that. She has to separate herself. You have to break it. You have to get out of that energy. I understand it. That energy is not good for you all day long like that. It'll suck the life right out of you. Believe me, I know. But anyhow, I was connected to my oldest son that way. I couldn't sleep because I could wake up in the middle of the night and have to go rescue him someplace from a fight or a car accident or something. But that energy is not good. I know she needs a break. But I just wish she'd come to bed with me and snuggle up with me and do
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But it doesn't happen. I accept it. I say my prayers for an hour and a half till I fall asleep. And
But let me explain because that makes me sound cold.
well,
But
you
the
have to disconnect. I understand that.
no, that's not why. I've always been a night owl, always. And I am not a morning person. And, all my working career, when I had to leave the house and go to work,
So did
I
I.
kept saying to myself, I cannot wait until I don't have to do this anymore. And, like this is my third business. Um, but this business here, I'm working from the home. The other business, I had a gym, so I had to still leave the house and then I had a dress shop. But here, this business, it's my dream because I usually don't start work till like what, 11 or 12.
One,
Well, I
two.
try not to be that, no, 11 or 12. And then I'm usually finished, or I try to be finished. Like before I came here and it was just me, I would work all day, all night, like, because I love what I do. I mean, it is tiring, it's exhausting, but I still love it. But what was my point?
Oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
so yeah, so my dream was to not to have to get up in the morning, to get up when I want to get up. And so I do get up later. Like Sam gets up early. I get up at like 11. But my dad was like that, same way. And then I could stay up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Like I have to make myself go to bed. That's why. It's not that I don't want to do that. It's just that I'm just not tired. You know what I mean? But okay. Anything you like about me?
I mean, I told you what I liked about you.
Okay,
The
so
whole way through this. If you wasn't picking up the nods and laughs, I mean,
ooh.
connect the dots.
All right. Well, I would have to say one of the blessings that Sam gifts me is by cooking me dinner every night, which to me is such a blessing because, one of the things I hated when, I was living my normal life, working, raising my children, was coming home after work and having to cook dinner. I hated it. I hated it. So to now work and then come out and have dinner ready, it's like such a blessing. And I just hope I never take that for granted. Like, and that's how Sam is. He shows you, and this is what I tell you guys, like with earth signs, especially, they show you how they love you versus, I mean, Sam tells me he loves me, but it took a while, I mean, just with, I guess, any relationship. Um, but just those little things, like he's always thinking about me and he really does put me first. And like, I just feel so blessed. I feel so blessed. Doesn't mean that I'm always in this grateful state, which I should be, but I'm human. Um, and I guess the biggest complaint I would have, which really isn't a complaint, is, well, I don't know. Sometimes I think you want me around you too much when I think we're around each other all day long.
But that were I.
But that's a good thing. I'm just saying. I just feel, I don't know.
You see me out doing things, and I really don't. I just go to the grocery store. But I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's the time we get to spend is over supper or on
Yeah.
weekends and stuff like that. And usually you're working, and
Yeah, I do. I have to make some changes. Like, I used to take a break and we'd have dinner together. And I got out of that habit, and I really should start doing that again. Take a break. We can eat together. You know what I mean? Like, these are the little important things that really add up, I'm sure. But I mean, we don't have, we're human. We get in fights. We get in, I have that Irish temper, and, but we make up. That's the thing. We make up. We talk about it. We make up.
now the thing, this guy she was friends with when she was growing up as a teenager. I knew him from a long time ago because he threatened me when I was in high school. I never met this guy in my life. He went to a high school where she lived, but he lived in a town above me. And actually, my father told me this. He said, "Hey, this guy, such and such name, is threatening to, kick your AWS." I said, "Really?"
You can say ass.
Well, that's what my dad told me. He said, "What are you going to do about it?" That's the way my dad treated me. He wanted me to be the rock of the family, even though I was the last one.
But you were the
But
rock.
anyhow, I went and I didn't even know who this kid was. All I knew, I found out from a friend of a friend where his mother lives. I drove to his mother's house. I knocked on the door, and she goes, "Who are you looking for?" And I had said his name. He said, "They're up at the big rock up there doing
Who are you
whatever."
talking about?
Dick Taylor. But
Oh,
anyhow, I walked up to this big stone that they was all sitting around partying. And I asked, "Who is this person's name?" And he said, "That's me." And I said, "Well, I heard you're going to kick my AWS. Let's go right here, right now." He said, "No effing way." He said, "Not after what you did to the last friend of mine." I said, "Then why are you running your mouth about me?" I said, "I don't even know you."
what's he running his mouth about? I don't understand where you're
Because
going with this.
he was best friends with a guy I ran into in Indiana, and we threw hands. And the guy took the wrong time and the wrong place to pick on the wrong person. That was me. And anyhow, he started to text you when you came to this town. And
Yeah, he lives in the same town.
and he let me know right out in the front yard. I mean, this guy came bold right out in the front yard and said about my first wife and second wife, and he'd like to do that and do this and do that. And I said, "You say anything about Sandy, I'm going to come right back out here with my handgun. And I'm going to shoot you in the face." And that's the way I was. I'm protective about that kind of thing. I'm not obsessed or, I'm not jealous or anything. You just leave another man's wife alone. You can go ahead and run around on your wife all you want to, what she does.
Excuse me, I'm not your wife.
Girlfriend, wife, anyhow. I even showed Sandy and I pictures of these young girls and stuff bragging about it. Hey, he's 67 years old. He's running around with 18-year-olds. If his wife approves it, that's his life, not mine. I don't have to pay for them consequences. But he turned around and did it anyhow. But she came right to me and said, "Hey, look, why is he texting me? Why is he?" And I let it go. I let it go. I let it go. And he started and then I texted him. He said, "Oh, I was just checking on him." He should have came right out of the bones. I said, he called me Sammy. And no, you don't do that. I said, "My name's not Sammy, it's Sam."
So,
And real quick, I just wanted he should have came out and never even texted her. He should have asked me. I'm the man of the house. I lived here all my life. I built this house with my dad when I was 23 years old. And this guy knew, and he tried to get out of saying, "No, I didn't say anything rude." I said, "I know. She has a text. Did you think she was going to come to me and tell me about this kind of stuff?"
Well, a lot of women
A
would,
lot
would
of
have.
women wouldn't have. I mean, I got cheated on and slapped around too, but she's honest like that, and I appreciate that because I was never honest like that before to anybody with anybody else.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? Got anything left you want to say?
We can do this another time because
Do you enjoy it?
yeah, I enjoyed it.
Good. Well, we'll keep doing it.
That's if they want me back into their computer.
Atmosphere.
Computer.
Well, it's not there. It's in their atmosphere. Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're gonna call that a wrap.
Let me know what you guys thought, and if you have any more thoughts or
Questions.
questions. If you don't, sorry if I disappointed. If I
You
disappointed,
didn't disappoint anyone.
but I could go on for hours. But
Yeah, he is a talker. He
he
is a
once I
talker.
open up and get past some of the emotions I have, I can.
Well, that should be
I can.
another one. We should do another one where we have like where women can ask you questions from a man's point of view. You know what I mean? Like you can answer their questions with a man's point of view.
Yeah, but I'm a different type of man than any other man. I
Yeah,
mean,
but you're very honest and you're very truthful, so you may be able to help them
that's
in
the
that
way I was
way.
taught to be.
I mean, it's really we'll let the audience decide, but I could see that being helpful to a lot. Not just to the women, but also to the men. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they're lost too. I mean,
Oh yeah. I mean,
um,
it's.
so I think we'll call that a wrap, but I don't know. I don't know that if we even told our whole story. Um,
I know you guys will let her know how I did and what you didn't like and did like.
well, no, I just wanted you to be yourself. That was all. And
So
that's all they wanted.
hope I disappoint you guys.
Aw. All right. So I thank you, Sam, for being my very special guest today. And I hope to have you back on. And I've never said this to another guest, but I love you.
I love you too.
All right. Bye bye, guys. Thank you.
See you guys.